Welcome back to the NFHS Network. Today's game at Husky Stadium is presented by the Seattle Seahawks, supporting WIAA football and the launch of girls flag football with the inaugural state championship coming up in February. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the 2B championship, the first championship game of the day. Tri-Cities Prep Jaguars trying to repeat their playoff win against Toledo in the championship setting here against the number 1 seed Toledo Riverhawks. Both teams undefeated on the year, and they've shown exactly why they are the top 3 seeded teams in 2B, two high-powered offenses with extremely good defenses as well. So let's talk about some potential keys to the game. I'm going to start with you, Keith. For the Jaguars, the lower seed coming into this, they beat them last year in the opening round. So when they were the 9 seed, but now it's a whole new game. It seems like different teams are coming off a very hard-fought win. Last week they were down 14-0, and they managed to get their way back to even get here. So what are some keys to the game you think for the Jaguars?
Tri-City Prep, not a team I get to see real often. We don't travel to the west or to the east side too much, but they're going to have their hands full. They're going to have to work around this tough defense of the Toledo Riverhawks. And I'm a big fan of the mid-range pass. Put the ball out there quick. Don't give them time to sack you, and you just got to hang tough with this defense and keep grinding on them.
Yeah, that's something that Coach Mike Christian said for Toledo. They're going to have to stop the passing game. They have a very high-powered and explosive play from the pass. They'll mix in the run as well, so that's something they're going to have to keep an eye on. Now over to you, Jason. For Toledo, you've also covered some of their games, as I'm sure we all have here. What are some keys to the game as they're the 1 seed that you think they're going to be able to do to get it done here today?
Well, defensively, you're right, the long ball, the deep threat that Tri-Cities Prep has, but you have to think about the back end of Toledo. They have a secondary that took away 3 interceptions last week against Okanagan. Offensively, though, on a day like today with the wind being a factor, I could see Eli Weeks taking a couple of shots downfield to Adam Kruger, but for the most part, they're going to pound the ball down the field, physically test that defensive front of Tri-Cities Prep, and dare them to put more people in the box. And that is when Toledo opens up its passing game in the mid-range. Just like Keith mentioned, the mid-range pass, that drag route is going to be highly successful for Toledo today over the middle.
100%. Then over to Rich. I mean, you are someone that's done a lot of 2B games. And what are your expectations here in this championship match?
Well, I think defense is the key. You take a look at both these teams. Riverhawks coming, giving up only 8.9 points per contest, and only allowing 4 of their opponents double digits and 3 shutouts on the season, most recently Napavine in the quarters. Their defense actually in the postseason has gotten better at 7.3 points per contest. So the Tri-City Jags, they're giving up 7.8 points per contest. Similarly, allowing double digits only 3 times, holding 4 opponents scoreless. Most recently, their defense, however, in the postseason, giving up 10 points per contest. 2 like opponents that these teams have seen. Both teams have seen Adna and Columbia. In those games, Riverhawks have given up 40 points against those opponents versus the Jags giving up 49 points to those opponents. So the stats and how these teams are so similar, it's going to show here today. It should be a great game, and I expect defense to be a huge part of how this victory is played out.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one here today. Let's look at how Toledo got here. They went through Columbia, Burbank, Napavine, and Okanagan to get to this championship round. Columbia, Burbank, they beat in the opening round 45-14. Napavine, the runner-up of last year in the championship in the quarterfinals, 42-0. Me and Keith were there for that game. And then Okanagan, the defending champs, 24-8, and they got it done to get here. Let's take a quick look at Tri-Cities Prep. They went through Paella, Willapa Valley, Liberty Bell, and Adna to get to the championship round. They beat Willapa Valley 56-0, Liberty Bell 55-12 in the quarterfinals, and then a tough win against Adna 34-28 to get here. The number 3 seed taking on the 1 seed. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more, and then soon enough, there's going to be time to play some championship football. Geesa Credit Union is proud to sponsor the 2025 WIAA State Football Championship, and welcome back to the live action on the NFHS Network. 2B action just moments away from taking place as the captains are down there doing the coin toss right now. Tri-Cities Prep Jaguars 3 seed taking on the 1-seeded Toledo Riverhawks. Both teams undefeated on the year, but Toledo, I mean, they've been blowing out almost every single opponent that they face this year, and they've done it handily. So they haven't faced as much adversity as someone like Tri-Cities Prep. They've gone through some tough games. The last game, they fought through a gritty battle, and head coach Kyle Cairn, he said that it was one of the most tough and resilient teams that he's ever been a part of coaching, and he knows that that might give them a little bit of an edge here, especially if they can get one on Toledo early.
Well, that'll help them out a lot because last week Toledo, they were tested for the first time last week against Okanagan and kept them around with some less than stellar ball security. And if Toledo can hold on to the ball, they're going to be okay. But you're right. If Tri-Cities Prep can get on Toledo right away and put a little doubt in the Riverhawks' mind, that resilience for Tri-Cities Prep should show through.
100%. Over especially yesterday, we saw some of the most high-powered offenses in all the classifications for the top-seeded teams, and it ended up just being defensive battle games. It was just defense. Special teams would come in, and they'd make great plays that would also lead to defensive stops. We had 6 turnovers in the 1B championship yesterday that led to be in the win. So if it's any recollection of what yesterday was, that might be what we see here today. But I don't know, Rich, how about you? Think it's going to be a more offensive or defensive-minded game?
Once again, we're going to pause for the national anthem.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break. Coming up after this, kickoff. Giesa Credit Union is proud to sponsor the 2025 WIAA State Football Championship, and welcome back to the live action on the NFHS Network. Tri-Cities Prep won the toss. They elected to defer, so Toledo, the 1 seed, they're going to try and get started hot early. They're going to get the ball first.
They're going to have somebody hold the ball on the tee down there. And notice the tight formation here already, special teams trickery, trying to test the front line of Toledo and see how they're going to adjust to this tight formation. This might be the time. You just run one right away and see if you can send your massive humanity at the front line of Toledo Riverhawks.
Yeah, our friend the wind is definitely back today, moving about like it was yesterday. So that could be a major factor.
Ms. Adam Kruger is going to be back to receive. Going over. He's going to get the ball. Takes a little bit of a skip, but has it now on the near side. Going to try and make something happen. He gets across the 25 over to about the 28-yard line.
Yeah, we talk about, these kids, they've played in conditions like this, but it's the fact the stadium, you get that swirling wind that happens here at Husky Stadium, and so that side of it is an adjustment that they're going to have to face throughout this contest.
Yeah, the flag at the top of the stadium is blowing right to left, and the flags on the goalposts are blowing left to right.
Correct.
So we have some moving wind.
And you look at yesterday's scores, all of them low-scoring contests, and like you had mentioned, high-power offenses.
As Eli Weeks, star quarterback for Toledo, going to take the reins, going to hand this one off. He's going to fall forward. That was number 5, Nathan Beaver, who got the carry.
Well, the push up front already, that's what Toledo likes to do. Test that front, get themselves in second and mid, third and short, and be able to have a lot easier time calling their plays.
Weeks is backed up by number 9, Carter Swafford, and number 5, Nathan Beaver at running back. Receivers, number 11, Adam Kruger, number 6, Austin Reed. I'll get to the rest of those stars after this play. As Swafford gets the carry, lowers his shoulder, and then looks like he'll stumble forward for the first down. What a run there by Swafford, and that's something that we know that he can do at any moment.
Well, even though he plays at 145 pounds on the roster, he runs more like a 190-pound grown man, and you're right, he can lower that shoulder and get that push, and look how he just drives through that linebacker for the Jaguars.
Size isn't always a factor. Some of these kids can really figure out how to hit.
Swafford's going to get this one again, and he's going to fall forward for a nice gain there. Maybe about 6.
When you have guys like Alex Vasquez and Nika Acosta locking on up front, good things are going to happen for this Riverhawk rushing attack.
The rest of the starters, tight end number 10, Brady Weeks, and the O-line, number 50, Mason Ruiz, number 79, Matthew Martin, number 55, James Weigel, number 57, Alex Vasquez, and number 75, Nico Acosta. So right now, Kruger, that little reverse. We know it's going to be a keep by Eli Weeks. He's going to fall forward for a massive gain there of about 20, and that is the danger of Eli Weeks, and that's something that the coaching staff of the Jaguars had to emphasize. 2,000 yards passing, 1,000 yards rushing for Eli Weeks on the season. He's a dangerous person to be going against.
And a great read on his part. The blocking scheme screamed counter sweep, and then he just kept it underneath, and as the Jags overflowed, first down on the ground.
Yeah, McCabe probably scoring, saving tackle there on that.
Now from the gun, here's Weeks. Going to hand this one off over to Swafford. Has some blockers ahead of him and some space. He's going to try and stiff arm his way, but he's going to be spun. No, still on his feet somehow and fights for the first down and some more. Wow, Swafford already having a good start to this game. I don't know how he didn't go down. He finds his way for a nice first down and a couple more yards.
Went for that violent tackle there, and you're going to have to wrap these guys up.
Yeah, Jared Garza had him wrapped up and breaking free there to make that tackle is Daniel Zoller.
Twins on the left side of Weeks. He's just going to keep this one, run up the middle, lower his shoulder, and get gain there of about 3.
Well, right now, if the Jaguar linebackers can read the blocking and scream in front of them, that one screened Eli Weeks that time. But some of them are still watching the backfield and flowed with Beaver and Swafford that time. So Eli Weeks playing with his eyes right now, making intelligent decisions.
And it's 5 yards a chunk. They're really having their way on this first possession, gaining positive yards every play so far.
And windy conditions like this really favor a ground and pound team.
Now 2 running backs either side. Swafford gets the handoff. He's immediately swallowed up.
Now that is how you read a blocking scheme. That was Karsten Seeliger flew in there. That senior just blew up his assignment in front of him and made the play. As he takes on the block and then just swallows him up in the backfield for a loss. Nice play by Seeliger.
And that's the first tackle for loss of this contest.
See if they can do it twice over. From the shotgun again is Weeks. Single receiver on his right side. Hofford's going to get the handoff, trying to get to the left edge. Has some blockers ahead of him and stumbles his way about 2 yards short of the line to gain.
And this time they go with the beef formation in the backfield. They put Nico Acosta in there. He plays defensive line. He's a 235-pound junior. He is all-league, probably going to be all-state. And when he leads on those, that is another huge man those linebackers have to shed before they can get to the ball carrier.
Sheffrey now with 2 tackles on this drive for the Jaguars.
And comes in motion. There's some movement there on the defensive line, it looked like, of the Jaguars as that motion was happening. Going to be offside on the defense. That would be a first down for the Toledo.
Yeah, and that's a tough spot, right? Where you're 4th and 2, and now automatic first down with that. Huge mistake there by the Jaguars.
So many teams have gotten so good at that hard count nowadays.
Yeah.
.7:23 left. They've taken off about 4 minutes of the clock. Find their way about the 15. This one's going to be pitched and immediately tackled for a loss, like of about a yard.
That little shovel was slowly developing that time, and the Jaguars were able to read it, step up, and make the play pretty effectively once they shed the initial blocks up front.
Looked like that was Adam Kruger on the carry. Not a play you see too often, and great job there by the Jags not being fooled to go get that and stop and make it 2nd and long.
Still have yet to see a ball in the air here.
And Eli Weeks does have an arm, 2,000-yard passing on the season. But, yeah, Toledo, they're a very run-heavy team. And like you said, Keith, when the wind's a factor, we saw yesterday how it affected everything as Swafford gets the carry there. He's going to break free, find some space for a positive gain for about 4.
He's so good with his eyes. When he makes that 3-step cut, he can go back against the grain. And as the Jaguars over-pursued, he was able to get up underneath their defense and get some positive yards on the ground. As you notice here on the cutback, he has Martin on the as he pulls across the line and kicks out the defensive end. That's exactly where Swafford's able to make that cut.
Anytime you're gaining 3 to 5 yards per carry, there's no reason to put the ball in the air.
Until the Jaguars can start making some consecutive stops. They've done a good job these last couple of plays. As Weeks, he's going to keep this on his feet, rolling out to his right, sheds off a tackle, has some space in front of him, lowers his shoulder and brought down at around the 4. Great job there from Eli Weeks.
And just eluding the tackle by Gaddish, who got into the backfield. Great job there for a positive gain.
Well, on the bootleg, not fooled at all was Gaddish, and fortunately for Weeks, he's able to step up and get downfield, but tackle on the play by McCabe, touchdown saver for the Jags.
Yeah, Weeks definitely used his speed there to avoid that one.
This is going to bring up 4th down and short, and they're going to pile up and do a QB sneak with Weeks. He stumbled his way. He definitely got the first down, but did he get into the end zone?
Looks like they're marking him short.
They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line, so great use of a little bit of a tush push there to get the first, not into the end zone, but picked up the first down. Now they have 4 opportunities to try and run this one in. They might go back to the same formation. They will, and that will be in for the touchdown, but a flag flies in on the play.
And usually in a spot, potentially a hold. Be interesting what this is called again here.
I'm almost wondering if maybe also that could have been an illegal block. Sometimes you get a guy high and low, potentially doing that short yardage play.
The white hat, other officials talking it over right now.
They are moving in the back, but we have not seen the call.
Yeah, on their way back is Toledo, so they must have a somewhat of understanding that's likely on them.
I just got word that's the word I got.
Oh, aiding the runner. So push from behind.
No, that's a pull.
Pull into the end zone.
That was going to back Toledo.
Watch it here on the replay. As he's trying to get in the end zone, just someone below him was pulling him slightly. So that's going to be a different play call this time, Dom.
100%. They try to go back-to-back QB sneaks. Would have got in had there not been a flag, but now it's just going to be from the shotgun. Swafford takes the handoff. He's going to fight forward and try and extend. He'll be brought down where they just were a moment ago, around the 1-yard line.
He was stretching there, just knees hit first.
Yeah, and that was Kalen Vincent with the stop.
Watch his kick out blocked by Acosta, just creating space downfield.
Now it's going to be in for the touchdown. They go back to Swafford back-to-back, and he finds himself in for the 1-yard touchdown. 6-0 is your score. Right now, Toledo Riverhawks, the 1 seed, leading against the Tri-Cities Prep Jaguars.
Child's play. You could see that one coming the whole way. Everybody in the stadium knew Swafford was going to get it, and then on the lead with the pull coming around. Masterful by Ventura to open it up.
Yeah, blocking over those last couple plays was excellent. Opened up that opportunity for them to score, and they're going to go for 2 here.
They went 0 for 4 last week in their conversions against Okanagan. Let's see if they can put one on here.
Swafford gets the ball again, and he's going to be in. He checks a man at the end of that play, in for the 2-point conversion. 8-0. Toledo Riverhawks with the lead. And they took a considerable amount of time off the clock as well. What an opening drive for the 1 seed.
And almost a similar play there where they go basically off of the left tackle for the touchdown and the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break here while kickoff is getting ready. We'll come back. Jaguars' first drive of the game coming up. And welcome back. Gisa Cremu is proud to sponsor the 2025 WIAA State Football Championship. And welcome back to live action on the NFHS Network. 8-0 is your score. Toledo, after a long drive, took a lot of time off the clock at a 1-yard touchdown run by Carter Swafford, and now the Jaguars are going to try and respond. They haven't even touched the field yet offensively. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, you gobbled up over half the first period as we were down to 5:42 left to go. So great opening drive for Toledo, and come away with points rewarded for their efforts.
And we have stuff blowing all over the field. There's a pom-pom today.
Yes, it might be a common thing you will see over the course of really this whole weekend. It was yesterday. We got tents blowing. We got jackets on the field. We got bags in the air. Got to hold the ball for every kickoff because that ball won't stay still. They're going to go with a quick squib kick there and just going to fall on it. Going to be the Jaguars. They're going to take over around the 37-yard line.
Well, that's the Riverhawks' MO on special teams. Make something happen. Get it flopping around here on the turf at Husky Stadium. Don't let the Jaguars set up a return. They have too many athletes. Just force them to go to work. And there's a chance. I mean, they took one last week at the ensuing kickoff of the second half and squibbed one up the sideline and took it away from the Okanagan Bulldogs and then went down and scored.
Jarrett Garza, quarterback for the Jaguars, backed up by Jake Sherfy, 6'2", 230-pound running back linebacker. Sherfy is going to get the carry. No, that's actually going to be, number 5 is going to be swallowed. Now, you could have broke away for a big play there. That was number 5, Aiden McCabe.
In weeks with the tackle coming up, and that was a saving tackle. Otherwise, a lot of green ahead.
Always fun with these smaller schools where your quarterback's making your tackle
That's
the
right.
next time out there.
There's Garza in the shotgun. This time, Sherfy gets the ball, tries to escape on the left side, makes one man miss. He's going to fall forward for the first down. Great run there from Sherfy.
And you talk about the smaller schools. I was lucky enough to play in King Bowl 10 at the 2B level, the Liberty Lancers versus Onalaska. Unfortunately, not on the winning side of that contest, but it was just that. Everyone basically played every snap. I mean, your roster size was, basically about 30 guys.
His running backs, number 4, Jamison Elliott, and number 5, Eddie McCabe. Receiver, Carter Gaddish. Tight end, Marcus Hyatt. Get you those O-linemen in a second after this play. Here's Garza. Takes a snap. Sherfy gets it again. Has some blockers ahead of him. He stumbles forward for a nice gain of about 4 yards.
I'm impressed right now with Tri-Cities prep push. This has been one of the biggest tests in this first drive that I've seen the Toledo Riverhawk defensive front endure this season. They are being, I wouldn't call it manhandled, but right now the Jaguar push is pretty effective.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they definitely can run the ball well themselves.
Single receiver out on the far side to the right of Garza. And taking this is going to be number 4, Jamison Elliott. He's going to get forward short of the line of game, but a positive pickup nonetheless.
Great pursuit down the backside by Nika Costa. He was able to fly down, take a great pursuit angle, and as you can see, he sheds his block, gets an inside run at the ball carrier, and then drags him to the turf.
Your O-lineman for the Jag, number 50, James Koskinen, number 52, Nathaniel Feek, number 57, Brody Boogard, number 51, Kason Clements, and number 53, Karsten Seeliger. Twins on the left side now. Good guard to hand this off to Sherfy. Big hole ahead of him. Going to bounce to the right side, and he's going to be brought down there from Adam Kruger. Gets the first down, however.
Yeah, and I think really had an opportunity to just gain more yards, but tried to slip it to the outside and gave up an opportunity, I think, for a big gain.
Man, watching these two teams both just run the ball, this is going to be a very quick ball game.
Well, I love seeing teams just have confidence in their offensive line, know that they have a plan to execute, and just try to make it happen here, test the defense. And when the Toledo Riverhawks have to have Adam Kruger from the secondary making tackles, good things are happening up front for Tri-Cities prep.
Now from the pistol, Sherfy backing up Garza. Elliott comes in motion. There's some movement there on the offensive line.
Yeah. That is the one thing you cannot afford in this game is mistakes.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be critical, especially in these conditions. The team with the biggest amount of mistakes most likely coming up on the wrong side of the scoreboard, and that entire left side move there.
Calling plays from behind the sticks, especially in this environment, not good. Here we go again.
It'll be the same formation. Elliott comes in motion. Garza, he's going to keep this one. Going to flip it back to Sherfy, but that's going to be a tackle for a loss, and he got met right in the backfield.
Well, he tried to come downhill and run speed option here and would have been well advised to keep it himself because the Riverhawks sniffed that one out and flowed. Each one of them had their option assignment down. They picked up the quarterback and then right on the pitch, easy money that time Great tackle on the play by Brady Weeks, the sophomore linebacker.
Well, that pitch was just too close to the quarterback. Everybody following the quarterback was right there to make the tackle.
A single receiver either side. He's going to drop back to pass. First pass we've seen of the game. Fires it over, and it's going to be picked off.
Feigenbaum.
Rowan Feigenbaum going to get the interception, bring it back to the 45. Toledo's going to take over on offense.
Feigenbaum is so good at reading routes. Last week, he was able to get underneath one of the Okanagan Bulldogs quarterback's throws, jump up, make the play. So as he drops back into his zone, he is reading routes, and he made a ball-hawking play on that one, Dom.
Yeah, did a great job. Actually, he kind of showed like almost like a delay stunt on coming up into the box, and then dropped back, and then was able to come up with that big INT.
He had an interception in the semifinals as well as a touchdown in that game. So he knows how to make it count when it needs. Eli Weeks is going to keep this on a QB keep. Has some blockers ahead of him. He's going to spin forward, but a flag flies on the play. It's like might be a potential holding call. It's going to back the Riverhawks up.
Well, they came in with a beef formation once again, and with Weeks being a running threat at this point, he just uses his blockers as lead blockers. But you're right, Dom. It's a hold called against the Riverhawks. Now it'll be 1st and 20. Not exactly what Coach wanted to have there. It's not his decision there, Mike Christensen, to be 1st and 20. But with the play action that they have in this offense, Toledo's still in pretty good shape.
You know, you go back to that interception, you think of how Tri-City was just really moving that front line like you guys had mentioned. What a huge mistake and a great opportunity for Toledo to take advantage of this first turnover.
Here's Weeks. Fakes it to Swafford with the ball. Now looking to fire this one deep over to Adam Kruger. He's going to get it with the catch. Adam Kruger cuts back, trying to get forward. Now he's going to stumble to around the 20-yard line, still on his feet. First pass of the game for the Riverhawks comes up big, and they're now in the red zone.
I will say in 2 days of football, that's the first attempted pass with that wind that they put in the basket. Quarterbacks all yesterday had trouble not overthrowing that, so that was a beautiful pass.
Well, the protection was beautiful, and he allowed that deep drag to clear.
Let the play develop after the fake to Swafford, who's going to get the ball right now, and he's going to stumble forward, makes a couple men miss, still on his feet before he's finally brought down. A gain there of about 5 for Swafford, and he just will not go down. He's only 145 pounds, but he doesn't look it out there. He is an imposing player to go against.
Again, he plays like he's 190, and the Jaguar front did take those blocks on, but the churning legs of Swafford just so impressive right now.
There's going to be a timeout now called from the Jaguars. 25 seconds left in the first quarter in that interception. Then you mix in the pass from Weeks to Kruger, and right now Toledo, they're feeling themselves. Coach Mike Christian talked about how they prefer to be the 1 seed. They want that target on their back. They think that makes them play better. It makes them lock in, and they're playing like it right now, even when the Jaguars were marching down the field, and they just got something that have the momentum swing on their side, and who knows, could potentially be a game changer when it's all said and done.
Well, to Rich's point, to the way the Jags were moving the ball down the field, it was a time to take a shot. It was a time to mix it up a little bit, but what a mistake over the middle, and what a ball-hawking play by Feigenbaum. And here come the Riverhawks just moving the ball down the field. And to your point, dropping it in the basket, that is exactly what Eli Weeks has been able to do all season long playing in the Central 2B League East.
It's just been so challenging up here with this wind. They tend to sail them. We saw that all day yesterday, so I was pretty impressed with that, especially being his first pass.
Or they try and over-adjust for the win, and it ends up not being complete either. Now here's Weeks again. Same play, going to keep it now rolling out to his left. Has a speed blocker ahead of him. That's going to be Acosta, and he is going to get in, truck him in into the end zone for the touchdown, or did he get in?
Now we're going to have him just short.
Wow. That block out there by left guard for the Toledo, an amazing block applied, and just sprung free Weeks for that long run near scoring play.
Acosta is just a stud. He was the player of the game last week. He makes things happen on all aspects of this game.
He barely stepped out at the 1 yard line. They're going to do a QB keep here. And in for the touchdown is going to be Eli Weeks. Second score for their second drive of the game. Toledo up 14-2-0 right now against the Jags, and what a way to respond after that interception. Go and get it done. Big play after big play, and they meet the end zone.
Converting turnovers directly into points. That is how you win state championship games, but this is pretty early on still.
Oh, you're going to go for two here. Here's Weeks going to hand this one off. Still somehow is on his feet and fights in to the end zone. He was right at the line. Did he get in?
Did not get in, as it is two defenders coming up to thwart that two-point conversion, and it will remain 14-0.
It was Nathan Beaver on the sweep, and he was riding that line, but good job there by the Jags. Hold them to 14-0. Actually, we're just going to keep it here for now. 10 seconds left in the first quarter. We'll take a break in those 10 seconds, which is coming up shortly. But, man, talk about, even with the penalty, too. A penalty backed them up. It didn't matter. Right away, they go and get that big play to Adam Kruger. Got them around the red zone, and then another big play from Eli Weeks. And their playmakers are making the big plays that they need to make in the biggest game of the year. And then, I mean, that QB sneak is looking hard to stop right now. Their own version of the tush push.
Well, and this Tri-Cities prep team has shown us they can move the ball. They just have to eliminate their mistakes.
That was Jamison Elliott with the stop on that two-point conversion.
It was a nice thigh board tackle on his part to prevent the ball carrier from crossing the goal line. It was so close. And we're talking an inch or two from the plane that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the tackling technique made all the difference. Now, knowing Mike Christensen, this is about the time that he is going to actually try the onside kick and go shotgun on. Let's see what happens here. Here it is.
They get it, and that's going to escape the Jaguars, but falling on it was Tri-Cities prep.
Well, I coached against him a few years. If you're smiling about that, Keith, you know, you're around a guy enough years, you kind of start thinking about how he thinks.
I just liked your timing there.
It nearly comes up as a successful onside kick. Good job by the Tri-City Jaguars to gain possession.
Looks like it was Carter Gaddish who fell on that ball. Now right back to work is Tri-Cities prep. Interception in their last possession. Going to give this handoff over to Jameson Elliott. He's going to fall forward there for a gain of 4.
Again, this Tri-Cities prep team, their average yards per carry is solid.
Yes, it is. And with the first quarter in the books, and special thanks to Washington Dairy and their support of the WIAA. After one, Toledo Riverhawks 14-0. Tri-Cities prep, second quarter coming up after this. And welcome back to the NFHS Network. Today's game at Husky Stadium is presented by the Seattle Seahawks, supporting WIAA football and the launch of girls flag football at the inaugural state championship coming in February. 14-0 is your score, Toledo. What a first quarter they had. Amazing first drive, just marching right down the field. Took off about 7 minutes off of the clock. They get a 2 or 1 yard run from Carter Swafford. Then they would pick off the Jaguars in their first defensive possession as Carter Gaza goes with the play and has a man in stride. He's going to be caught. No one's going to be able to catch him. That's going to be in for the touchdown.
There's that big play capability, and right out of the quarter, they set up off the play action, freeze the corner, and that's all it took to get that receiver wide open.
And again, another first pass of the day dropped right in there. Something tells me, I haven't been down on the field today, but something tells me the wind's maybe not quite as strong as we saw yesterday.
And that was Aiden McCabe with the long touchdown reception for Tri-City Jaguars.
Just a great matchup that time, and it, unfortunate that Brady Weeks wasn't able to get back over in coverage, but going up top, that's exactly what the Jags needed to do.
Now 14-6, and they're going to kick this one away, and that's going to be up, and it's going to be good. So it only took them one play to start the second quarter, and they do it big. Long touchdown over to Aiden McCabe. Take a quick break. Toledo going to respond coming up right after this.
38 they started at?
And Greasa Credit Union is proud to sponsor the 2025 WIAA State Football Championship. And welcome back to live action on NFHS Network. To start the quarter, it only took them one play. Tri-Cities prep, they go with the long shot over to Aiden McCabe. And he makes it big. No one was going to be able to catch in too much speed. He gets in for the touchdown and the extra point as well. 14-7 is your score here in this 2B championship matchup.
Need some chin straps on those baseball caps down there.
Wind's actually starting to swirl up here into the press box. Papers are flying.
They go for a little squib kick there as well. And Toledo's going to get in, bring it to around the 33-yard line. That's where they are going to take over. Going to try and respond after that quick touchdown from the Jaguars, and they've done a good job of responding and capitalizing off their opportunity to see if they can get it done on their third possession of the game.
Yeah, during the timeout we talked about, is the Jaguars defense going to be a bit gassed? They've 2 really long drives against them, and then they get the one-play score. They're right back out there on defense.
Eli Weeks completed a big pass to Kruger earlier in the game, is taking that handoff for a nice gain of about 9 yards. That was number 5, Nathan Beaver.
Watch how the Riverhawks just lock on and shove people into the secondary. Just a great overall combination. The blocking up front by Ruiz and Ventura, just so solid.
Gaddish with another stop. He has been all over the place defensively for the Jaguars.
Twins on the left side now. Running backs on either side. Swafford's going to take this one. Lowers his shoulder in a pile. Going to try and push it forward. Let it be stopped. Not before getting the first down, though. Nice pickup there, 4.
You know, both of these offenses just make me think of the word bully. Both offenses just bullying the defense, and they're so similar.
Out of these wing tee attacks, all the misdirection, all of the guards and tackles in space, it just makes it a lot harder to take on those blocks.
They flip the formation here. Going to be handed off. Taking a big shot is Swafford. Oh, my goodness. That was number 50, James Koskinen, who laid the hit. And, man, big tackle for a loss. And, yeah, Swafford took a shot there.
That is how you read, run, and right off the stunt, no chance for Martin to catch that block. And what a well-timed call by the defensive coordinator blowing that play up in the backfield.
And Koskinen came in untouched and just, like you said, blew up that play. Huge loss, huge play for the Jaguars.
Give a little bit of energy to that Jaguar defense, and Swafford takes it again, and now he's running up the seam and lowers his shoulder and makes up for that loss on the last play with a big yard for about 20 yards. Carter Swafford, oh my goodness.
Just another 3-step cut by Carter Swafford. He can play with his eyes so well, and as he picks up the blocks downfield, just nice little kickback, nice punishing block downfield, and then a coast to looking up work again.
Swafford gets a handoff again. He's initially met, but again moves those feet, follows his blocker to pick up there. About 4.
It is a physical scrum right now in the trenches, and on this drive, the Toledo Riverhawks are showing that they spent some time in the weight room this summer. They are getting all the push they need to have continually move the sticks and have second and mid for their play call.
Still that third down conversion. How big was that after the huge tackle for a loss? Unbelievable play call to move the chains and keep this drive alive for the Toledo.
However, he's going to take it again. Has some blockers. Only gets about 2 on that play. He's going to bring up third and medium.
A lot stingier that time by the Jaguar defense. Jamison Elliott along with Jake Sherfy coming up and making a play, shedding some blocks. So the Jags, they're well coached. They can read, they can play, they can shed those blocks effectively. But when the Riverhawks are able to overload and get numbers on the point of attack, that's when they've had the most success.
Twins on the right side. Eli Weeks going to throw this back over to Adam Kruger. He has some speed. Space in front of him. Going to break one tackle and then be brought down. Gets the first down. Some blockers ahead of him. Uses them well. Another big first down for the Riverhawks.
Well, there's that screen we've been expecting. How are they going to get Adam Kruger more involved in this offense on a windy day? Taking a chance that time, they throw the lateral, and when Kruger's able to get out into space and pick up a couple of stock blocks, Brady Weeks with a block downfield as well.
Yeah, and those backward passes so dangerous, right? But handled it great, and then just used his blockers for the huge first down.
Kruger in motion again. Weeks, he's going to keep this one. He's going to be immediately swallowed up. Maybe a gain of 1.
Gaddish was able to sniff that one. Carter Gaddish, the senior linebacker, he is one of the top players on this Jaguar defense, and he was able to make a play nearly in the backfield that time. Weeks' momentum carried him forward for a couple.
Yeah, I think we've called Gaddish's name a few times on defense. He's probably up close to half a dozen tackles now.
Now single receiver each side. And actually, in the empty is going to be Weeks. They're going to pitch this one on over. Like to Nathan Beaver. He's going to fight his way forward for about 5 yards.
Nathan Beaver has been a good change up this season for the Toledo Riverhawks on the counters because when you start focusing all of your attention upon Swafford, that is when they can go to their other weapons, and Nathan Beaver is one of those weapons on this counter.
Brings up 3rd and 4. Kruger goes out to the far side. They hand it over to Swafford. Has blockers ahead of him, over his shoulder, and then flips his way for a first down.
Well, it certainly helps having Nico Acosta out as his lead blocker, but overall push up front, outstanding. You can see each of these Toledo hats going hat on hat of an Acosta, doing some work upfield, and the nice flip by Swafford.
Yeah, I felt like we were watching some SmackDown there or something.
Marcus Hyatt with that rollover tackle.
Here's Week. He's going to keep this one himself and has all the space in the world. He's going to walk in for the touchdown, second of the day, the 5-yard touchdown for Eli Weeks. 20-7 is your score.
Just untouched. Hat on hat, and then the lead block of Beaver to finish it off, and Weeks is not even touched.
And that's now 3 offensive possessions and 3 scores, so gone perfect offensively. If you're the Riverhawks, again, take off some decent time off the clock and forcing, again, the Jaguars to play catch-up. So they're going to be going for 2 here. Here's Weeks. He's going to throw this one over to Kruger, who is wide open, but a flag there on the play, launch around the field.
This game is starting to feel like a violent chess match. When a defensive coach guesses the right play, they stop him no problem. And if he misses it all, they just run right past him, both directions.
I love watching, and you can see how the minds are working. The Jaguars knowing they have to take a few chances here and there to make a stop. And in this case, on this conversion, it puts Toledo back way behind the stick, so to speak. But you're right. It's going to be one of those violent chess matches. That's a great analogy.
So now they're going to stack up receivers on the right of Weeks. 3 receivers out wide. Going to drop back. Weeks, he's going to be tackled and not going to get the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, there to make the tackle, number 2 in Jarrett Garza.
Quarterback on quarterback. We're going to take a quick break here. Jaguars look to respond, but they did stop the 2-point conversion. 20-7 is your score. Jaguars coming up right after this. And Giesa Credit Union is proud to sponsor the 2025 WIAA State Football Championships. Welcome back to the live action on the NFHS Network. 6:40 left in the second quarter, and 22-7 is your score after a 5-yard touchdown run by Eli Weeks. Went for the 2-point conversion, but they did initially get it, then a penalty negated that. They go for the onside kick here. But
yeah, definitely got to the line too quickly there.
Then they go for the 2-point conversion again, and Eli Weeks is not really sacked, but he's brought down by Jared Garza.
And that's 2 of their attempts that have come up unsuccessful. Will that have make a difference as this game plays on? Time will tell, I guess, of that.
Well, they're not too worried about field position right now.
No.
There's a lot of faith in their defense.
Absolutely.
And even though the Jaguars took that shot, they have faith that they can stop the run and just provide a little more cushion in the secondary and not let anybody run by them.
Already an interception on the day, Rowan Feigenbaum. He's had a couple of interceptions this postseason. And that ball, again, just tumbles right off of the tee.
That's how it's going to be.
Yeah, you may as well just have somebody hold it right out of the gate.
Once again, I was lucky enough to play in the Kingdoms. Win not a factor.
Go for a squib kick here as Gaddish takes it, gets out of his hands initially, and now is going to run off to the near side, then lowers his shoulder, gets off to about the 40-yard line. Good recovery there from Gaddish when it slipped out of his hand.
I love the not shying away from contact. You avoid two guys and just go right at the third one.
Right. And Buswell took it on, and while he got rolled over a little bit, he was able to hang onto some cloth and make the tackle. Ryder Buswell, the junior, the tackle for the Riverhawks.
Now Jags down 2 scores, 6:33 left in this first half. Let's see what they can do here. Coming out in the empty is Garza. 2 receivers on his left. Jameson Elliott comes in motion, fakes it to him. They're going to give this pass over to Sherfy. He tries to stiff arm his way and then falls forward for a gain of 8.
Well, they caught a little hole in the flat that time off the play action, and that's all the space that Sherfy needed to clear out. And now, second and short for the Jaguars, a great opportunity for them to take a shot downfield.
And again, those shorter passes, the wind doesn't seem to affect at all because they're so crisp. So, great play call.
Going to bring about 2nd and 3 now from the pistol. Sherfy backing up Garza. Sherfy gets the carry. Going to try and push his way forward, maybe a gain of 1. There's a pile in front of him. A little bit of a wall he couldn't get past. Still a positive gain, but brings up 3rd and short.
There's that physicality up front by the defensive front of the Toledo Riverhawks. Whether the D linemen are able to shed a block or the linebackers flow freely, a minimal gain on the ground, just a 1-yard gain. 3rd and 2, though, this is still an opportunity for perhaps the Tri-Cities Prep Jaguars to take a shot downfield.
They've gone to it. They've tried twice. Interception on one. Big touchdown on the other. Is this one guarded? He's just going to keep this one and get the first down. Good pickup there of about 7. But he uses blockers there and let that play develop to move the chains.
I like that decision there because something tells me Toledo was prepared for a pass there, and you picked up the first down.
Well, they really were. You could see that in the way the secondary was lined up, they were expecting some sort of pop pass that time. And for the Jaguars, what a great play call. An extra blocker up front. Let's just let your quarterback use his legs.
Lines up in the empty again. Completed a pass to Sherfy a few plays ago. From the same formation, he drops back to pass. Going to fire this one over to the far sideline. That's going to be caught.
Great job by the defender there not to complete that tackle. He realized he was going out of bounds and saved that flag.
Yeah, I was going to say just the same. It's real easy to get violent out there and not know your awareness, but yeah, he definitely forced now what is a 2nd and 5 versus 1st and wherever. Yeah.
There's a little out route there by Joshua Hyatt, who completes it for the pass. Again, a 5 yards. 2nd and medium coming up. The pistol again. Garza gives it off to Sherfy. No, he's going to keep this one. Has some space in front of him on the QB keep. He is finally going to be brought down. Not before a big pickup, though. About 25 yards, Jared Garza.
Drugged down by the last man in the line.
Yeah, and, Austin Reed saving that scoring touchdown.
Yeah, Reed was locked on by Cason Clements, and Clements made a nice block, but Reed saved that touchdown. What a nice read on the play at that time by Garza.
And that ball rolling off of the initial spot.
Really surprised the umpires not staying on the ball till the teams are ready.
That comes from a former official out there, NFHS country. Keith Kings, he's going to let us know what's up.
A single receiver on the right side in Gaddish. They hand this one off to Sherfy. He meets a wall. Ball came out at the end, but they're going to say that he was down. That looked like that play might have been looking up a little bit. It looked like there was a little, I don't know, this handoff was kind of delayed.
Yeah, it looks miscommunication or something, and then you just have the wall of Riverhawks there.
It was a late decision on the read. He went ahead and gave it up, but by then the Riverhawks had already blown up the blocking scheme right in front of him.
Yeah, it was like Fagenbaum there for that, I think, the initial contact.
No, Daniel Zoller on the carry. My apologies. Sherfy now is backing up Garza. They're going to get this one off to Jameson Elliott. A little fake handoff at first. Tries to escape to the far side. Has some space. The flag flies on the play.
Yeah, that one's coming back.
Right now he's in the end zone, but Laundry on the field. You said, Jason, that one might be on its way back. And it will be on the offense. Holding call, 10 yards. Backing them up, not what you want if you are a Jaguar.
And once again, we talk about mistakes and how critical they are in this contest. Once again, another big mistake by the Tri-City the Jaguars as a scoring play comes back. And so a couple huge penalties against the Tri-City Prep team here in this contest with the big interception as well.
Never good when you pull points back off the board.
For sure.
Especially when you're playing catch-up in a game of this magnitude against the number 1 seed undefeated Toledo Riverhawks. Now they fake the handoff to Elliott again. Going to fire this one over and complete it for the Patches on the slant route. What a great job there. There with the catch was number 11, Marcus Hyatt.
Good job by Hyatt there to throw that second hand down there. It looked like he might lose that ball, and he felt that. Yeah. Got 2 hands on it.
You got to love Weeks, right? Quarterback, he comes up there, puts helmet on ball type of situation. Big tackle. Otherwise, once again, a score for the Jaguars that would have been.
Always fun to watch these small-town quarterbacks come out and hit somebody from the other side.
That does give them the first down as well. Going to be first and goal. There's Garza. Elliott with the sweep once again, trying to use his speed to get to the outside. We'll pick up some positive gain. We brought down around the 4-yard line.
Well, the extra yards picked up because Karsten Seeliger was able to get out into space. That 230-pound senior locked onto his block, pancaked his assignment, and created some extra space on the outside of that Riverhawk defense.
Yeah, definitely one of the more physical games we've seen this weekend, at least from my vantage point. Just fighting in the trenches is going to be a timeout here.
Officials.
Yeah, officials. I think they're trying to reset the clock.
Yeah,
put the time back on.
Yeah, it was stepped out of bounds. The clock should have stopped. It kept rolling.
2 minutes, 8 seconds left in this first half. 20-7. The Riverhawks do lead, but trying to dig into that lead here has another 3 opportunities is Tri-Cities Prep. See if they can get it done with these next couple of plays.
Back-to-back drives where we've seen either a penalty or a tackle for loss where both teams have been able to convert and keep drives alive.
This handoff over to Scherf, and he is going to be in for the touchdown. 5-yard run there from Jake Scherf. Not many people touched him on that one.
Couple of hip swivels, and he just walked right in there.
The zone blocking up front, they were able to get hat on hat and then combo off, find the right people, and now the Jaguars' offensive line starting to eat, getting a little push up front, and this is becoming that physical match back and forth. I love it. It's like a prize fighter.
You take the mistakes out of this game, and
they go for the extra point, and that is going to be good. 20-14, and reminder that Jaguars are getting the ball to start the second half as well, so they can make a stand here, at least get that time drained to 0 in this first half and try and even out this game or even take the lead because, again, the 2-point conversion was not successful in the last Riverhawk touchdown. So they were to score in their opening drive of the second half. It could be 21-20. As you said, Rich, would that come back and might bite the Riverhawks for not completing that conversion?
Yeah, and you take a look at this game, and it is just like that, a boxing match type of game. And we talked about it during the pregame. The team with the biggest mistakes probably is going to come up on the wrong side. And right now, the interception seemingly is that difference of this contest.
Absolutely, that's been the big mistake. That's the difference.
Now, the problem the Jags have, they have to stop the Riverhawks first, which is easier said than done. They've had 3 offensive possessions and 3 touchdowns, and they've done it quite efficiently as well.
Well, last week, Toledo was able to march down with about a minute and a half left in the half and score with about 7 seconds. So, again, the Riverhawks, you're right about that. The Jags have to stop them. They still have plenty of time to put some points on the board.
Kickoff here. Another little squib kick that's going to find its way still inbounds and then going to take the bounce out of bounds.
Interesting. They're going to say kicked out of bounds, but it almost looked like the player had tipped it off his fingertips.
That's what I thought we had. So, and I was just going to make the comment that was not a good decision on his part. So he may have gotten lucky there.
We'll give Toledo great field position with a minute and change left to go in this first half.
With the lead, I mean, they have the power to score in a minute and 44 seconds, so that's not out the realm of possibility. So it's going to be up on the Jaguar defensively and try and hold them.
If a team can run the 2-minute offense in the 2Bs, it's the Toledo Riverhawks. I've seen them do it. They're very effective. I look forward to seeing how the Jaguars adjust here and try to keep them out of the end zone.
Two receivers on the right, Eli Weeks. Drops back, mishandles the snap for a second. Now just going to roll it to his right after handling it. Throws across his body, but that's going to be incomplete.
Wow, and that could have been disastrous, right? The high snap off the fingertips is able to gain possession and makes at least a non-negative play out of that situation. Heck of a job.
Definitely used his athletic ability to even corral that one.
Try to get across his body. Kruger was the intended target. Just fell out of his hand. Pass was a little bit low. Brings up second and long. Three receivers to the right now of Weeks. He drops back to pass. Fire this one over the middle. That's going to be caught. It's like by Carter Swafford, who's spinning away and then finally spun down. Breaks off that first tackle and gets across midfield. Big pickup there, about 16.
Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, and they bump Swafford out into the slot, and he's able to run a great route, get open very quickly, and it was a bang play. Nice protection up front, and the slant route was good.
Here's Weeks again. Makes two men miss. His pressure was on his face, fighting forward for a gain of 3. There on the tackle was Marcus Hyatt.
Well, that may have been a design draw that time, Dom. I saw them run that once last week, and we're going to have a timeout taken on the field now by Toledo.
Nice job by Hyatt there not to let him gain any more ground. He looked like he slipped after he made contact there, but just kept a hand on him and pulled him down right there where the contact was made.
Yeah, and just like that, across midfield already is the Riverhawks. And although they're so good at running, you cannot sleep on their passing game, even though that is not something, even particular in this game, that they've wanted to go to as their primary focus on offense. And they're already making some efficient work here towards the end of this first half, a minute 15 remaining.
What's crazy is you think about the scores yesterday and where we are at before halftime here. This thing is a track meet versus what we saw yesterday, where it was barn burner after barn burner and low scores. So it's been a lot of fun to see these offenses be successful in these conditions.
Somewhat surprising with two of the top defenses in the 2Bs playing here today. When you look at some of those stats, it's an amazing output of offense so far.
Make sure to stay tuned for the Proactive Sportsman halftime show. We're going to recap this first half as Eli Weeks drops back in coverage. He's going to take the moonshot over, and that is going to be looking like Nathan Beaver was the intended target. That one soared over his head, incomplete.
That's tough to do into the wind.
Yeah.
Had the arm for it, just.
I thought that was picked all day.
Even out through the defender. The defender was about 8 yards ahead of the receiver there.
Yeah, I expected the wind to hold that up for him to be able to get underneath that, but too much zip.
Brings up 3rd and 8. Weeks onto his right, and they're going to do a little screen over to Nathan Beaver on the left side, but he's going to be brought down short of the line to gain. That was Marcus Hyatt there on the tackle, and great job by Hyatt. He saved what could have been a lot more yards. Great tackle there.
Unbelievable tackle, right? That is going to be a huge play. Hyatt comes up and just stops what was a huge gain to be had.
And not very solid execution. They had 2 blockers out in space.
Yep.
Brings up 4th down now, and Weeks drops back and whistles. Sound going to be a timeout. Yeah, timeout by the Riverhawk. Going to talk this 4th down over. 35 seconds remaining. We're just going to keep it right here. So do they take the long shot over the next couple of plays? They only have 1 timeout remaining.
Well, I think they almost have to. I think right now you look to gain the first down. You get the quick clock stoppage until the ball's set unless it goes out of bounds. But then you have to think they don't seemingly have that kicking game, right? Everything's been 2-point conversions and this and that. At some point with 35 seconds, you are going to have to look at taking that deep threat down field and see if you can't score before halftime.
We know Weeks has the arm for it and has the receivers to back it up, but still has quite a bit of ways to go, about 41 yards to the promised land of the end zone.
4th and 3 here. Your running attack has been so good. Do they stay with that formula here just to gain the first down?
They have 2 plays called. They have the first one to get the first down, then they'll get right back on the line and run their throw.
What they do here? Here's Weeks. He's going to roll out to his right. He's just going to use his legs. He's going to pick up the first down and a little bit more. Good job there by Weeks.
And get out of bounds there. Big key to that was getting out of bounds, stopping that clock.
Yeah, save that timeout. Really great job there by Weeks as he handles it himself.
Well, it was a design bootleg rollout. Then they wanted Weeks just to pump it once and then use his legs to get that first down. And to your point, Keith, intelligent by the senior quarterback to get out of bounds and not have to burn that timeout or have to rush up to the ball as they reset the sticks.
Gets it to the 34-yard line with 31 seconds remaining. So a decent amount of time here to try and do some damage. Weeks takes it now, rolls out to his left. Looks across the body, fires one over to Adam Kruger, and that one just out of the reach. Jameson Elliott there on the coverage, and that went a little bit too far out of Kruger's range.
Yeah, double coverage there. Would have been a really tight window and nearly got that in that perfect spot.
Going to bring up 2nd and 10. Only took off 4 seconds of time on the clock. Again, like you said, that kicking is not really going to be in the wheelhouse of Toledo, and they're kicking against the wind as well. As here's Eli Weeks, and that one just goes right into the dirt. It looked like it was tipped.
Yeah, I think there with the tip that was number 21 for Tri-Cities in Daniel Zoller.
Daniel Zoller there with the tip, brings up 3rd and long. So defense for the Jaguars now make a good stand, and still early in kicking range, so time is winding down.
This could be a huge stop for the Jags.
Because their primary goal right now, I'm sure, is not to just get a first down at the 24-yard line. They're going to want to end this with some points on the board. Weeks drops back. Fires it off to the left. Flag flies on the play, and that is over the head of everyone. See what the laundry is on the field.
Well, Weeks took a shot there, too, at the end of the play.
Yeah, Weeks being held up by his lineman. He took a real shot and looks into the area of holding or potentially tripping.
Toledo looks like they're walking backwards right now as that flag was on the line of scrimmage.
I was going to say, we're asking the Tri-Cities coach what he wants to do, so.
It's going to back them up 10 yards.
Yeah, I think that's the right call here, right? You force them with the time. You're under 15 seconds, 13 to be exact. Force them back. It brings up a much tougher conversion now.
And again, passing this direction seems to be much more difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they have a headwind right now, and it's not a good situation.
I'm shocked that Tri-City's not playing a little bit deeper in the secondary. Force nothing over the top.
Twins on the right of Weeks. Drops back. Moving around now, rolling out to his right. Fires across his body to the other side of the field, and nobody home. Looks like Kruger again was his intended target, but that one out of the way. Going to bring up 4th down and a mile.
Again, on a calm day, I'm not sure you can make that pass at the high school level.
Yeah.
That's a tough pass.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining. Likely going to be the last play unless they can get a big shot here.
Great. Shout out to Tri-Cities Prep secondary there, though. They had those deeper receivers locked down.
They will go for it. I thought maybe you might just punt because of the firepower that Tri-Cities has on offense. They had the one-hit touchdown.
Now here's Weeks, has some pressure. Flag does fly on the play. Now he's rolling out to his left, and he's going to be tackled. Can't get the ball off, and he's tackled. Still flag on the play, but nonetheless, that likely will be a turnover on downs.
It's great coverage downfield.
Really?
I mean, it'll be a coverage sack. The holding call is going to be declined. The Jags will have that one shot with 1 second left, Rich, and you're right. They're a dangerous team looking downfield.
This could be huge with them getting the ball to start the second half as well.
Swing that momentum over their way.
I'd imagine you'd see the secondary of the Toledo Riverhawks playing, 30 yards off the ball.
Yeah, because there's only one goal for this down.
Yeah.
And you have the wind to your back.
In the empty will be Jared Garza. Playing prevent. Defense is the Riverhawks. Garza rolling out to his left, going to fire this one over, and that skips off of Hyatt's hands. Now do it for the half. So, number 1 seeded Toledo Riverhawks lead 20-14 against the number 3 seeded Tri-Cities Prep Jaguars. But things are heating up here in the 2B championship match here at Husky Stadium. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up after this, the Proactive Sports Mid Halftime Show.
Stay the formula here.
Well, that was their strategy last week. The opening kickoff of the second half, they onsided it, stole a possession from Okanagan, went down and scored, and really put the Bulldogs behind the 8 ball last week. And I don't expect anything different right now.
Does change things when you got to take a man out of the mix to hold the ball.
They're just going to put this one away. Jameson Elliott's going to come to take it. He's going to hand this one off over to Aiden McCabe. He's going to be tackled. Great coverage there by the kicker.
Well, that was great coverage, but then just able to out-leverage, unable to get outside that time. The containment of the coverage team, and then the hitters came up the middle, blew it up, and the Jags have the worst field position they've had all game long here to start the second half.
Shockingly, the kick was sent deep.
Launch it deep and now taking over around the 23-yard line. And Keith mentioned it in the halftime show, how field position could play a crucial factor in this second half. So here's Jared Garza. He drops the snap, and then just having to fall on it is the Jag. That was McCabe. Good awareness by him, but not the way you want to start off this second half when you're trying to come back and take this lead.
But he saved disaster because that could have been ugly if he doesn't cover that ball.
Oh, what a momentum stealer that would have been. They had the counter sweep set up. It was blocked well, but those errant snaps are so costly, and it just takes away all the momentum and the flow of a play.
Yeah, it ends up being a 6-yard loss with the mishandle.
Brings up second and long. Going to try again here is Garza. Has a man over. It's Gaddish, and that one gets past his hands, incomplete. Goes out of the hand of Gaddish. The ball had some zip on it. Can't make the completion. Brings up third and long.
Well, the protection is outstanding, and if Garza has a chance to step into his throw, he has a cannon, and he nearly put that one on the numbers. Good coverage downfield by Toledo. It was a tight window to try to throw through, but it was there.
Yeah, you had Gaddish, but I think even more you had Marcus Hyatt that was open up on that left-hand sideline. Deeper pass, of course.
Eli Weeks was the one on the coverage. Quarterback out there making defensive plays as well. He already has 2 touchdowns on the day. Here's Garrett. Some pressure, fires over to the right side, over to McCabe, who makes the catch for the first down as he falls out of bounds.
That was an impressive step up by Garza. He was flushed by Acosta in the backfield and then was able to avoid that rush and then throw back across the field. That was a tough angle to take, but you can see Garza. He has to step up on this under the pressure and then throws a wide throw downfield. Great catch by McCabe along the sideline.
Felt like he mishandled that ball, though. I thought he was going to throw it away, and then I noticed his receiver there, his arm angle, and where that ball rolled off his fingers.
Yeah.
Just odd.
Unbelievable, the arm strength on that throw.
Now, as Elliott take the carry gets by one man, then finally brought down a gain there of 3.
Feigenbaum made the initial contact, but you're right, able to shuck that. Elliott was able to shove Feigenbaum off and turn upfield with his momentum and get a few extra yards, 3 on that play, but Feigenbaum set a hard edge.
Ventura there with the stop.
Now we're going to bring up 2nd and 7 here in this opening drive of the second half 2B championship game. Single receiver on the right of Garza. He's going to take this, he's going to hand this off to Surfy. He's immediately going to be met, and then the whole pile of Riverhawks is going to bring him down. Great job in a tackle for a loss against the 6'3", 230-pounder in Surfy.
Well, the initial destruction up front, Matthew Martin makes a big play, and then a host of Riverhawks flow over the top and clean it off. And that's a little stick by Acosta there at the end. Physical defensive front for Toledo.
Going to be a loss of 2, brings up 3rd and 9. Riverhawks defense trying to make a stamp on this opening drive. Carter drops back to pass. Looks over the middle, and that's going to be incomplete. Looks like Hyatt was the intended receiver. We're going to say it hit the ground.
Weeks was right there on the coverage, but that was a close one. It was a bang-banger, and
I thought he caught it, but that back judge came in there adamantly.
Yeah, from up here, obviously we're a long ways from the action. It looked like a catch to me as well.
you can see the wind swirling off those goalposts right now. So unpredictable.
It's going to bring up a punt now. First punt we've had of the game. It's going to be Adam Kruger that's back. New catches. You're going to take a friendly Jaguar bounce and get them at about the 15. That's where the Toledo Riverhawks are going to take over for their opening drive of the second half.
But a defensive stop for the Riverhawks. Even though the Jags were able to get a couple of first downs on that drive, that Toledo bent but did not break. And now up by a score, they have a chance to eat up some clock and go back to that formula. Get comfortable. Get your big man in the backfield and just give Swafford the rock.
And we just saw the replay of the incompletion. Boy, that ball slipped towards the legs, and it looked like it potentially may have stayed up, but my guess is it glanced the turf because, like you said, that back judge came in very quickly.
So here's Eli Weeks. Gives this one off to Swafford. Immediately met with the wall and then stumbled his way forward for a gain of a yard.
Well, physical up front by the Jaguars. They were able to close down that running seam that Swafford tried to cut up through. He was able to bounce for one, but not exactly what they were looking for on their 1st and 10 play.
Watch these guys pop up, though. They're pointing like they have the ball. They are definitely going for a strip right here.
One receiver out wide. And that's going to be a fumble. Jumping on it is the Jaguars.
They tried to run their scissors inside reverse play, and they had a lead block with Acosta, but on the second exchange, problem in the mesh, and there's that turnover, Keith, that turnover that is going to put the Jaguars already in the red zone.
Yeah, they really need to take advantage of this.
Yeah, Gaddish, once again, he's been a playmaker all game, and he comes up with that fumble recovery, a huge play in favor of the Jaguars. They take possession inside the 20.
Momentum swinging back and forth in this one. Already a wild start to this second half. Here's Garza. Hands this one off. No, he's going to keep this one and go up. He's going to take a shot there, but not before getting about 6 yards. Good job there from Garza.
Nice fake, because he got me.
Nice physical hit by Eli Weeks, but the read that time, Garza maintains the mesh for an extended period of time and then pulls it out of the breadbasket at the last advantageous moment, turns it upfield, and requires Eli Weeks to have to make the play. But nice read that time. Physical tackle by Eli Weeks, but not before 6 yards on the ground.
It's going to bring up 2nd and 4. Huge moment in this game here for Tri-Cities Prep. You're going to hand this one off to Sherfy. Already a touchdown on the day. He's going to fall forward for the first down around the 2-yard line. Great job there from Sherfy.
Just relentless push up front, and that time a nice read. Gave the ball up to his fullback, and Sherfy was able to churn upfield. Now 1st and goal in the 3. The Jags are knocking on the door, and If they score, we're going to find out that answer to that question. Will the conversions come back to haunt the Riverhawks?
They just need 3 yards to go and 4 downs to do it. Here's Sherfy backing up Garza. Gaddish out wide. They give it to Sherfy. He rumbles forward, and he is in for the touchdown. 3-yard run from Jake Sherfy ties this game up 20-20. Let's see if they can try and take this lead here with an extra point conversion.
And Sherfy overcame that first contact and just lowers the head and works his big frame into the end zone, and we are knotted up at 20s.
We had a player down, but he got back up on his own power. A couple of hops. It looks like 33 or
Sherfy. Yeah, he's tough.
Yeah, he got back up and was like, I'm ready to go, but the ref said, hey, no, you got to sit one out.
Yep.
Just fell over the pile there, and he does enough to break the plane. And, yeah, kicking unit is going to be out there. Already 2 successful extra points earlier in the game. Going to try and take the lead here. This one is up, and
no good.
It is no good.
Wide right.
And, again, that's the direction the wind will take it. So
Yep.
the wind, again, playing havoc out there.
No good. So we are tied 20-20. Now it truly is anybody's game. We're going to take a quick short break. Toledo trying to respond after that fumble recovery right after this. Geisa Credit Union is proud to sponsor the 2025 WIAA State Football Championships. Welcome back to the live action on the NFHS Network. Jake Sherfy, after the fumble recovery from Carter Gaddish, gets a 3-yard touchdown run, but the extra point was no good, so we are all tied up 20-20 Toledo. They're going to try and respond after what was an unfortunate start to their second half on offense. They're going to try and make up for it here. And here's a kick, a little squib kick over, and that's going to hit the face mask. Looks like of Eli Weeks, who's then going to be wrapped up and tackled. Great job there by Andrew Ferguson there on the coverage.
I always worry a little bit about having my quarterback on kick return, especially when 4 guys are flying down there to make a tackle.
Yeah.
But you have to put your best athletes on the field. He's so elusive, and this is the state championship game. What else you waiting for?
And that's 2B football. Yeah. You only have so many choices to put out there, and you got to win the game.
What are you waiting for? He's probably your starting point guard come next week as well.
Well, yeah, athletic director Grady Fallon is also the head basketball coach, and you're right. The happiest guys on the planet are basketball coaches when football season's over, and they come out healthy.
For sure.
There's Eli Weeks from the gun. He's going to keep this one roll out to his right. He's just going to have to fire this one up, and that is going to be incomplete. Great pressure there by the Jaguar defense.
Yeah. There was no receipt. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Gaddish once again back into the backfield, but a heck of a job just getting rid of it and not taking that huge loss.
Well, they committed on the bootleg to go straight at Weeks. They were not fooled by the counter sweep blocking action. But, Keith, I didn't see a receiver out there. Acosta was out there, but I didn't see anybody.
Yeah, I didn't have anybody, but he might have been getting hit. There may have been a factor in there. I'm not 100% sure, but I was thinking the same direction you were, Jason.
Brings up 2nd and 10 now. 7:24 to go in this third quarter. Here's Weeks as they flip formations here. They fake it off to Swafford, give it over to Adam Kruger, and that ball came out, and jumping on it is the Jaguars.
And we're killing the clock. That's going the other way.
Jaguars back-to-back fumble recoveries. A huge burst of energy now for this Tri-Cities Preps defense.
Yep, and they decided that Kruger had enough time to have possession of the football and then was separated from the ball by the man. What a play that time by Jarrett Garza.
Which is what it looked like from up here. It looked like he had that ball well in hand, and then it got knocked loose.
Garza is just creating on offense. He's picking up fumbles. That is what it takes to be an MVP of a game.
And Scherf is the one who jumped on it, who just had the last touchdown to tie this game up. Great job by the Jaguar defense. Here comes Garza. Pitch over here to Elliott. Using blockers, jumps out to the far side, and he's going to fall forward for a gain of about 2.
Fagenbaum sets a hard edge again, and then from his secondary position, Kruger able to fly up and make a play. And I thought maybe, just maybe, Tri-Cities Prep would go up top after that turnover and just go shock and awe. But what a time for them to show that they can move the ball down the field methodically and continue to attack this defensive front of the Riverhawks.
Well, and now you start looking at, the mistakes the other way. It's Toledo back-to-back turnovers that have kind of flipped this script.
This is unfamiliar territory for Toledo, too. They've blown out everyone they faced, really, this whole season. They had a tighter game in their game last week, but the biggest game, Tri-Cities Prep putting it on them now. Garza going to be back to pass. That was going to be incomplete. Gaddis was the intended receiver.
It was thrown a little high, great coverage downfield by Weeks, but the protection up front once again. As long as Garza can keep that jersey clean, he is going to be able to step into his throw, and that was nearly on the money, just slightly thrown high.
Yeah, but good coverage on that one.
Yeah, there really was not a spot for that ball. Weeks draped all over him like jam on toast.
I like that one.
I might start using that in my broadcast.
Oh, steal out all the good stuff and use it for yourself.
Yeah. Here's 3rd and 8. Garza hands this one off. Over to McCabe. Gets a big hole and then tackled. Not after getting the first, though, and he gets it inside the 10-yard line to the 9.
They pulled two linemen into space, counter sweep, get outside, then turning it upfield. McCabe, a big first down, and the Jags are knocking on the door once again.
Really feels like their Wheaties are kicking in right about now because this feels like a different game.
It was about a 16-yard run there. It's going to bring up 1st and goal. On the 8-yard line, Garza hands this one off to Sherfy, trying to push his way. With blockers ahead of him, he gets down inside the 5 to the 4.
Formationally right now, the Jaguars are setting themselves up with an extra hat at the point of attack, and if they can continue that strategy right now, the Riverhawks will have to adjust because the Jags are taking full advantage and taking everything Toledo gives them right now.
Again, and both of these defenses are not used to teams moving the ball against them.
On the flip side, Sherfy, man, he takes on contact and just drives.
Sherfy, he's going to get this rock again, but he's going to be spun down. About no gain there on the play.
Got the low tackle there, and that's what it's going to take to bring Sherfy down. You let him keep his feet. He's tough.
We talk about handling adversity. We know what the Jaguars have done this season in that aspect of things, but Toledo hasn't handled much adversity at all this season. And right now, their backs are a little bit against the wall. There's a chance here to take the lead.
Swarford with a huge tackle. Only a 145-pound senior, 5'7", makes a huge tackle there.
Dropping back to pass is Garza. They're going to pass it over. Was that caught? Yes, it was. That was caught by number 12, Tilden Shumway, 4'6".
Talk about threading the needle there.
That is a gutsy quarterback. Jarrett Garza has confidence in his abilities, and as he steps back, allowing his receiver to clear out a gutsy play, and the out route is good for a score.
Great catch, too, falling down. That's not an easy catch to make.
Agreed.
The extra point is up, and this one will be good. 27-20 is your score, and the Jaguars now have taken the lead. Toledo going to look to respond on the kickoff coming up right after this break. Now, welcome back to the NFHS Network. Today's game at Husky Stadium is presented by the Seattle Seahawks, supporting WIAA football and the launch of girls flag football with the inaugural state championship coming in February. And this game has turned on its head in favor of the Jaguars. 20-14 was the score at half, and there's still 4:39 left in this third quarter. They've already put up 2 touchdowns and 2 fumble recoveries as well. Has the Jaguars defense, and that offense is capitalizing off those opportunities. 27-20 is your lead.
Yeah, the hitting and the tackling that we've seen from the Jaguars to begin this second half has been super impressive.
Inspired.
Do a little squib kick here, and that one gets past.
It's a live football.
That's a live
my
football.
goodness.
Getting on it is the Jaguars.
Oh, my goodness, that is unheard of, unseen, and what a huge turn of events. This thing has gone completely Tri-Cities Prep's way.
At the 10-yard line, the ball was initially touched by Rowan Feigenbaum, but that ball stayed in bounds, did not travel out the back of the end zone or out of bounds. Jumping on it was the Jaguars, and they get another chance here to go up 2 scores.
I believe that was Henry Rivas with the jumping on that one. Unbelievable that all the way down to the 10-yard line. It takes a weird hop back towards midfield, and
yeah, Rivas was able to get swarm all over that ball. And now here they come once again.
There, Jake Sherfy's in the middle of the pile trying to get some yardage. He maybe gets a yard on that one if we're being generous. But, man, that 2 back-to-back fumbles to open up this second half for Toledo, and then a disaster on the kickoff recovery. Not even a recovery, it was just touched, and then recovering the ball was Tri-Cities Prep.
And, that's the brilliance of a football. You put an oblong shape in there, and you just never know where it's going to go.
Receivers either side, driving back to pass. Here's Garza. Get it over to Sherfy, and that's going to be incomplete. Carter Swafford was there on the coverage.
Yeah, great coverage. Really tight window. Tough play. Would have been a heck of a catch had that been able to be completed.
Swafford didn't bite on the double move that time, was able to stick in the hip pocket and made a nice play. But, man, that was a gutsy throw on top of it.
Yeah.
Timing was great on that defensive maneuver there, though, too. If he's a split second earlier, he could be eating a flag on that one.
Big third down here.
Third and goal. Here's Garza again. They give this one off to Sherfy. He makes one-man miss, trying to stumble his way. He's going to get stopped at about the 2-yard line. So it brings up an interesting conversation. Do they put any trust in their kicker and try and get a field goal, just take the points, or they go, no, we're going to try and score right here. It looks like they're going to keep the offense out.
Yeah, I think that's the right call to go for this here.
On the one.
Yeah.
It's time to punch that one in.
And you've already missed an extra point with the win, so
I think from the 10 you probably take your chances with the field goal.
Here's Garza. Hands this one off to Elliott, and he is going to be in.
Oh, the formation screamed power, right? Then they come back with the inside counter to Jamison Elliott. What a masterful play call and execution by the Tri-Cities Prep Jaguars to take a 2-score lead.
And be thankful it was from the 1-yard line, because if it's from the 1.5, he's not in.
Yeah, the defense was there, just not enough space.
2-yard touchdown run from Jamison Elliott, 33-20. Tri-Cities Prep in the driver's seat now. Extra point coming up. Kick is up, and this one is going to be good. 34-20. What has been some of the more wilder exchanges of this whole weekend, maybe all season. Tri-Cities Prep, everything going their way. Toledo again going to try and make something happen coming up right after this break. Welcome back to the live action on the NFHS networks, and right now 34-20 is your score. 3:15 left in the third quarter, and Tri-Cities Prep is in the lead. 2 fumble recoveries leading to scores, and then the ball was touched and recovered by Tri-Cities Prep on that last kickoff. It was like Feigenbaum again going to get the ball. He's going to be wrapped up around the 25-yard line, where Toledo's going to try and take over, and they've really not gained any yards this second half. 2 fumbles in their 2 offensive drives.
Well, they're going to need to string together a few first downs and get some confidence back, get their mojo back, because the Jags are playing at a high level of inspiration and motivation right now. They have all the energy and the momentum on their side.
Absolutely, yeah. You're going to have to find a way to put a really good drive together, and you got to be rewarded at the end. You got to find points.
Here's Eli Weeks. Hand this one off to Swafford, and he makes one miss, stays on his feet somehow, and he gets forward for a gain of 3. Great job there by Carter Swafford to break off that initial tackle.
Wow. Huge job. Defense comes in, almost makes a brilliant tackle into the backfield, but he was able to find positive yards with that big play.
Yeah, James Koskinen got in the backfield for Tri-Cities Prep, but just good feet that time by Swafford.
That low center of gravity, got the hand down and kept himself up.
Once again, Fakes a handoff to Swafford. Going to fire this one over. That's going to be caught by Nathan Beaver across the 50-yard line. Great pickup there by Beaver.
Right out of the backfield, able to slip him up the seam, and off the play action, he's able to clear the linebacker that time and just create enough space for Eli Weeks to drop that one in front of the safety. Nice first down through the air for Toledo.
Now Weeks, he's going to get this one on the QB keeper. He is immediately going to be stuffed. It looked like the initial contact there by number 53, Carson Seeliger.
Yep. Yeah, Seeliger gets there, and that's just a little bit of a mismatch size-wise. Seeliger, just a beast of a defensive lineman. Huge tackle for a loss.
Well, in this odd front, Seeliger right there on the nose, that's a hard ask to block.
Single receiver, left side, bunched up. It's going to be a pitch over here to Swafford. Has some space in front of him. A lot of space. Good blocking there. He's going to stiff arm his way. Still on his feet on the near side and gets out of bounds. Still standing there around the 22-yard line. What a job there by Swafford.
The Jaguars have done such a good job of setting a hard edge during this game, but that time the Riverhawks finally out-leveraged the Tri-Cities Prep defense, and then a couple of stock blocks downfield open it up for an extra 15 to 20 yards. A huge run for Toledo.
There on the block was Isaac Parmentier. Led the way for that play to happen. Here's Weeks again. Give this one off to Nathan Beaver on the sweep, and he is brought down by Gaddish.
Great thing about Toledo is they are a high-powered offense, right? They put up massive points throughout the season, so it's not the scoreboard that the fact that they only have 20 points. It's the fact that they've given up 34 that's got to be the worrisome.
Closing in on a minute remaining in this third quarter. What a third quarter it's been, especially if you're a Jaguar fan. Here's Weeks again. 2nd and 10. Pitches this one over to Swafford. Same play, other side. He is met for a loss. Oh, my goodness. The big tackle there by number 50, James Koskinen. Literally just spear tackled him. That was like a WWE move.
He read that one all the way. They weren't going to run a toss to his side, and he's able to shed the block and just blow that play up.
Koskinen now a couple massive tackles in this contest, both for losses.
Well-timed plays by Koskinen.
Now this makes it 3rd and long, and we know that they are a 4-down going team in Toledo. This could be huge for the Jaguars. It's 20 seconds left in this third quarter. Fakes the handoff, then gets this one over to Adam Kruger across the middle, and he is going to be good for the first down. Pickup there of about 12.
Nice little slant route, 3-step drop, put it right on the money. Slightly thrown low, but Kruger able to corral that, turn it upfield. Ball security this time for Kruger, and a first down through the air, just what the Toledo Riverhawk attack needed.
Yeah, and going to the weak side there really helped out because you get the yards after catch.
That's going to do it for the third quarter. 3 quarters down, 1 to go. Washington Dairy is excited to see how the fourth quarter plays out next. We'll find out with the Jaguars leading 34-20 against the Toledo Riverhawks. Fourth quarter coming up right after this break. Gisa Credit Union is proud to sponsor the 2025 WIAA State Football Championship. Welcome back to live action on the NFHS Networks. 1 quarter to go in this 2B championship matchup. The Toledo Riverhawks are now trailing 34-20 against the Tri-Cities Prep Jaguars. And what a second half it's been. If you are a Jaguar fan, I'm sure you guys are real happy. They were trailing 20-14 going into this half. And they have 2 fumble recoveries that led to touchdowns, as well as a recovery on the kickoff from a ball that was touched by one of the Toledo players that got the ball back in their hands inside the 10. They would go on to score as well, leading 34-20.
At one time it was 20-7, right? So as of right now, you're looking at 27 unanswered.
Yeah, they really have found themselves.
Here's Eli Weeks on the QB sneak. He's going to get up and still being pushed forward. Going to be about to the line of gain. There's still a chance for a first down, as about the 1-yard line will be that line to gain. Let's see where they put him. Looks like he'll be just short. Going to put him at around the 2. Good job there from Eli Weeks.
There's some determined push up front that time by the Toledo Riverhawk offensive line. That time James Weigel was able to get a good block and create some space for Weeks.
Here they come again. Weeks from the shotgun, hands it off to Swafford. Going to fight his way forward, and he will be in for 6. 34-26 is your score after the 2-yard run by Carter Swafford, his second of the day. They're going to go for 2 here. Already 2 missed 2-point conversions earlier in this game, but what a job there from Swafford to fight his way into the end zone.
Huge answer back in this contest after falling behind due to those turnovers in that third period.
Going for the 2-point conversion here. Here's Weeks. Gives it off to Swafford. He makes a couple men miss, and he's going to be short and is not going to get that 2-point conversion yet again. So it will remain 34-26. Still with a big lead is the Tri-Cities Prep Jaguars, and they're going to get it back on offense here coming up after this break. Welcome back to the NFHS Network. Today's game at Husky Stadium presented by the Seattle Seahawks, supporting WIAA football and the launch of girls flag football with the inaugural state championship coming in February. Eli Sports and on the NFHS Network going to be covering some girls flag football as well this year. That should be a fun time. So back to this game though. Right now 34-26. Tri-Cities Prep leads, but a 2-yard touchdown run from Carter Swafford makes it 26 points for the Riverhawks.
Yeah, and I was going to say Gaddish blowing up that 2-point conversion. Wasn't there for necessarily the tackle, but he was the one that made the play on that conversion.
They go for the onside kick here, and that one skipped past the Jaguars. It looked like Tri-Cities Prep is going to be the one to fall in it. Crisis averted there.
Nice hands recovering at that time by Nathaniel Fike for the junior for the Jaguars, but man,
but
Toledo nearly had that.
That was the second man who had the nice hands.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah, initially got past first man there. I believe that was Hyatt.
You talk about Toledo defensively, other than the interception, they have not found that big stop that they've needed in this contest.
Yeah, we talked about that with Tri-Cities Prep earlier, but it's definitely Toledo not being able to find that big stop.
Yeah, I guess they did force a punt, but it was quickly given right back on the turnover in that third period.
There's Garza. They go with 2 fake handoffs. Now give over to McCabe, who has some room in front of him and some speed across the far sideline. Makes one man miss and brought down near the 20-yard line. What a big play there from Aiden McCabe.
What a great play call on the counter, and you're right. The ball action in the backfield may have frozen a couple of Riverhawk linebackers, and then McCabe able to out-leverage the Riverhawk defense, get outside. Nice block on the outside by the tight end, or by Sherfy that time, just freeing McCabe up downfield.
And we saw McCabe's speed on the touchdown catch early in this contest, and now we see him kind of with that fly sweep really get out there and utilize the speed.
Oh, in the red zone, they're going to hand this one off over to Jamison Elliott. He has some great blocking ahead of him, and he's finally going to be brought down inside the 10-yard line. What a job there by Gaddis, was one of the ones out there, but great blocking throughout that whole play.
Well, Cason Clements had not 1 but 2 downfield. After he did his initial work, he looked up some more work downfield and just cleared more space. The initial block, the second block, a pancake into the ground, and right now Elliott also, he and McCabe are just benefiting right now from the offensive line of the Jaguars.
You have those who can hit the edge with their speed and then running right down the middle, and Sherfy as well. Have to worry about him and the passing game from Garza. It's a well-oiled machine out there for the Jags. As Garza take the snap, gives it to Sherfy. He cuts back, and no one's going to be able to catch him. He walks in. Jaguar touchdown. And that was going to make this one 42-26. Sherfy cut back on that counter and walks in for the touchdown.
What an answer by Tri-Cities Prep. They weren't even methodical about it. A couple of big plays, and they just punch it in physically. And if this kick can go through, it is going to put some pressure on Toledo to respond. 10:37 left in the fourth quarter. They're running out of time, Keith.
Yeah, and you can almost hear these coaches every time they score. Check.
Extra point here now fighting the whim. That's going to be up, and it will be good. 41-26. Tri-Cities Prep. Everything going in the way of the Jaguars. Toledo going to try and respond with not much time left on the clock here in this fourth quarter, coming up right after this. And Giesa Credit Union is proud to sponsor the 2025 WIAA State Football Championship Welcome back to Live Action on the NFHS Networks, and got a 2B Classic here at Husky Stadium to open up this day 2 of state championship football. And right now, after an 11-yard touchdown run from Jake Sherfy, 41-26, Jaguars in a commanding lead, 10:37 left in this one. To try and get their first state championship since 2009 is the Jaguars, but Toledo going to try and make a comeback. They kick this one away. This one, Adam Kruger with the ball. Good coverage. He's brought down around the 28-yard line. That's where he's going to be stopped. Eli Weeks and the squad going to take over.
Good quick kick coverage there with the nice gang tackle.
I love the physicality by Tri-Cities Prep. They are matching blow for blow against these number 1 Toledo Riverhawks. Play on the kickoff coverage by Rivas. Just seems like another Jaguar steps up and makes a big play and a big tackle at just the right time.
Now Toledo going to take over, and now before they could have put together some long methodical drives, but that's not something they're going to have to work with. They're going to have to be quick and efficient over these next 10 minutes. Because here's Weeks. Hands this one off to Swafford. Has some space in front of him. Makes one man miss. Stays on his feet. And now he's on the near side. Makes another man miss. Blockers ahead of him. And he's jumping over, leaping over all of the Jaguars for a big run to about the 46-yard line.
I believe his blocker got in his way there, forcing him out of bounds. Otherwise, I'm not sure he isn't gone.
Yeah, Reed was trying to set up another stock block here downfield and just got slowed up and was in the way that time. But Reed did free him up for an extra 4 or 5.
Weeks again. Give it back over to Swafford, because why not? But this time only good for about a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
Good decision by Eli Weeks to carry out the fake just a little bit extra long to freeze Case and Clements, not allow him to be part of that play. But he'll keep reading Clements, and the moment Clements decides he's going to get involved and try to track down Swafford or Beaver, that's just the time Weeks will keep it.
Going to bring up 2nd and 9 now for the Riverhawks.
The Riverhawks, time is becoming critical for them. They need to look to get a quick score and then a stop.
And a fumble there on the snap, but right into the hands of Swafford. He's going to try and break free. Makes one man miss, still going, and finally brought down there by Jarrett Garza to the 20-yard line. What could have been a disaster ends up being a nice about 25-yard gain.
I just plugged in backyard football on that play on my old Nintendo's system. That was crazy how that went for such a big game.
Hey, sometimes you'll take lucky over good.
Lucky they get right there. Now at the 22-yard line. Literally bounced right over to Swafford, his second big run of the drive. The Weeks just going to keep this one, has some space, and he's going to be brought down there. A pickup there, about 3.
Great tackle by Kalen Vincent for the short gain. So tough is Weeks. Big, strong quarterback and very elusive in the open field.
About 2nd and medium, 8:40 remaining here in this one. Trailing by 2 scores is the Riverhawks. Even if they were to score here, they need to get a 2-point conversion. Weeks fakes the handoff, goes to the fade route over to Adam Kruger, and in for the touchdown.
Nice fade route. Kruger got separation from the corner that time. A well-placed ball by Eli Weeks, and that's just how the Riverhawks respond. Through the air, going toward the east, Keith, just a little bit easier to throw the football in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and Weeks definitely seems to have found that range with the wind at his back better than a lot of quarterbacks we've seen this weekend.
And, boy, he has thrown just 2 breadbasket touchdown passes in this contest. I guess the first one, he was out at the 1, right? But just 2 really placed balls that he's thrown in this contest up that left-hand sideline.
As they go for 2 here. Now, 41 41-32 is your score with Tri-Cities Prep leading, but they were down 15. This is a essential 2-point conversion they have to get here, and Weeks is going to keep it. Going to pitch this one back to Swafford, who's going to get in for the 2-point conversion. What a great job there on the pitch by Swafford and Weeks. 41-34. Jaguars, though, they've yet to be stopped on offense so far the second half, and they're going to get that ball right back coming up after this break. Easton Credit Union is proud to sponsor the 2025 WIAA State Football Championship. Welcome back to live action here on the NFHS Network. 41-34 is your score here in this 2B championship, which is suiting up to be maybe one of the best games that we've seen. We've seen a bunch of great games this weekend. This might be one of the best that I've seen between all of them. 41-34, 8:21 remaining in the game. Jaguars going to get the ball back after what's been an amazing second half. They were down 2 scores, 20-7 earlier in this game. They have trailed back, and now they had the 2-score lead. That is Aiden McCabe on the far side. Get a good run back for the Jaguars. They'll take over about the 33-yard line.
Ryder Buswell made another tackle on the kickoff coverage along the sideline that time. McCabe tried to run him over, but this time Buswell will take him out of bounds. The Riverhawks right now, Don, they must get a stop here right now. They cannot afford to trade drives, and especially with the clock as it is, the Jags could eat up some time here right now.
Well, but the Jags last time, it was like a 3-play drive. I mean, they've been so explosive offensively this second half.
Getting the handoff there is going to be, it's like Sherfy.
Great tackle.
It's going to be only a gain of about a yard.
And
nice play by Beaver that time.
Yeah. Beaver making a heck of a stop there.
Brings up 2nd and 9. Exactly the kind of play you wanted if you are Toledo. Some consecutive plays like that to try and get this ball back in your hands. I only seen one punt this whole game. That was the opening drive for Tri-Cities Prep. Because right now Garza, pressure in his face, launches this one over across his body, and that is almost picked off by Eli Weeks, but gets out of his hands incomplete. And if you would have intercepted that in stride, that could have been dangerous.
Receiver becomes the defender on that because that thing goes the other way for 6. Absolutely. Weeks a heck of a read, but the receiver on that play just enough to get a hand in there and yank that one away.
The timing was great, too.
Absolutely.
Some pressure up front by the Riverhawks forced that throw to be hurried up that time, and Weeks red routes.
Yeah, it was Hyatt that broke up the interception.
Brings up 3rd and 9. A pitch over there to Jameson Elliott, but great job there by Adam Kruger to bring him down. Tackle there. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Might even be a loss of 1 yard. It's going to bring up 4th down.
Way to set an edge that time. Joaquin Costa turns it in, and then making the play with his physicality from his safety position. Adam Kruger, big situation. They're going to force the Jags to have to punt.
We're back at 4th and 10 here.
Jaguars punt this one away and giving Toledo a little bit of that spark that they needed. Punts this one. That one gets caught up in the wind. That's going to be great field position for Toledo as they're past the 50-yard line.
It's about a 15-yard net punt.
And that's the first punt we've seen into the wind. And we kind of expected that might be the result, and sure as heck, that wind just...
that's why choosing your field position in the second half is so crucial.
Yeah, this is something we saw in the Mount Tahoma game, especially yesterday. They just started doing line drive punts. They weren't even going to risk it going in the air, and they were just hoping for a bounce that would go their way. When that ball's in the air, that wind is a little bit too much, and unfortunate punt there for the Jaguar. Toledo now going to take over with amazing field position and the hot hand on offense.
The stage has been set.
Here's Weeks going to hand this one off to Swafford. And he is immediately going to be met. What a great job there by James Koskinen.
He is applying some serious sticks to these Riverhawk running backs right now. Koskinen has stepped up and made 3 big plays on defense here in the second half.
Yeah, this Tri-Cities prep is up for the challenge right here.
Yeah, and that was Zoller there as well. So just a heck of a tackle for no gain.
Now Twins to the right side of Weeks. No gain, 2nd and 10. Fakes it to Swafford now. Gets a block there by Acosta and gets up. He's going to get some nice yardage there for a pickup of about 7.
Well, Weeks was able to slide off the block right off Acosta's backside that time and turn it upfield. But without that block by Nico, you're right, he would have been tackled in the backfield.
Brings up 3rd and short. 6 minutes remaining here. This 4th quarter of the 2B championship. What a game we've had so far. 41-34 is your score with Tri-Cities Prep leading, but knocking on that door is Toledo. Now rolling out to his left. Going to fire that one up and almost caught by Nathan Beaver. That one falls out of his hands. 4th and short now for the Riverhawks.
Wow, Weeks wants that one back so badly. He drew the defense in and then does a heck of a job with that little jump pass. Should have been caught for a big first down.
I think Beaver was looking at that defender and wanting to hit him, and he just took his eye off the ball for a second.
So maybe the biggest 4th down play of this contest so far. Upcoming here.
Of the season for either of these teams.
Here comes Weeks. 4th and 3. And
delay a game.
Maybe a timeout called?
No, from the back, Judge.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Delay of game. That was going to back Toledo up, and that is the last thing that they could ever want there in that situation. Maybe it opens up the passing a little bit more, but now they have about 8 yards to go for the 4th down and what could be the difference in winning or losing a state championship.
Too much deliberation on the play call that time from the sideline.
Yeah, you want to get your best play in the situation, and time ran out.
Weeks rolling out to his left. Blocker ahead of him. He's going to try and use his legs, lowers his shoulder, but he is going to be stopped short of the 1st down.
What a huge stop by this Jaguar defense. Eli Weeks had an opportunity, but Acosta couldn't clear enough space, and the flow of the Jaguar defense catches Weeks along the sideline, and now they take over with 5:47 left, a chance to chew up some clock, maintain this lead, and really make it hard if Toledo actually gets the ball back to have any opportunity.
And it's Kossikin again that makes that big play. Wow, what a stop and turnover on downs.
And they'll be looking to just chew the clock here.
Toledo's going to want to save their timeouts, so can probably get a few minutes off the clock if they start picking up some 1st downs. Here's Garza. Gives the handoff over here to Elliott. Has some space in front of him, and he falls forward for a gain of 4.
The inside counter is working incredibly well right now for Tri-Cities Prep. And, Toledo, they practice against this all the time. They see themselves almost in a mirror image here. But misdirection is hard to defend, especially when physical linemen like the Jaguars have are out in space picking up blocks.
Well, it's also very challenging to have run over teams all year and then come out here and play from behind. That's a major challenge.
5:15 remaining, 2nd and 6. And that clock is running out the pistol is guarded. They're going to hand this off to Sherfy. He's going to be tripped up there and not going to be in the 1st down. Picked up maybe a yard and a half on that. That might have been Feigenbaum.
Yeah, I think Acosta.
Acosta coming right down the line.
Yeah.
Acosta making big plays on offense with his blocking, then goes and makes a big defensive play there. Brings up 3rd and 2.
And you notice the slowing pace by Tri-Cities Prep here. Just let that clock run.
Yeah, remain deliberate.
Huge play here.
Takes a snap, gives off to Elliott again, has blockers ahead of him. And he's going to be there for the 1st down. What a clutch 1st down there from Elliott with blockers ahead of him. What a great job. Kason Clements and James Koskinen were the ones leading the charge, and what a big first down that was for the Jaguars.
It's absolutely a big first down. You don't get that on third down. You're still back beyond midfield. It brings up a really tough fourth down play call there. But first down moves the chains.
Now under 4 minutes remaining. Hand this one off to Sherfy, and he just rumbles his way forward for a gain of 3.
And again, his momentum. I mean, you're going up against two of the toughest players in Toledo in Brady Weeks and Nathan Beaver, and his momentum still carries him forward.
Yeah.
The clock continues to tick, and Toledo is going to have to consider starting to think about taking those timeouts.
You're going to have to find a big stop here. You have a high-power offense that Toledo does have, but, boy, if you can't get it on the field, it's all for naught.
And they need a stop for no gain. They can't try and get a stop that also was 3 yards. They'll just keep pushing those sticks more and more. This is going to be kept by Garza. He's going to spin forward for a gain of about maybe 2 yards.
Even the camera thought it was the fly sweep, but they haven't run the fly all game long off that fake. Garza just turns it upfield, gets positive yards north and south, and not too many, but it's just the time that is ticking right now. 3 yards, just fine for Tri-Cities Prep.
Beaver with the stops on 3 consecutive plays for Toledo defensively. And, huge third down here. It's obviously, if I'm Tri-City, you probably assume 4-down territory, anything to move those chains as long as you don't take a huge loss here. Toledo needs to bring their best stop. Try to keep this and get this ball back.
Fighting for that turnover, get the stop for sure.
Yeah. Boy, yeah, you look at this game, and that first half, it was the one turnover leading to the touchdown. Now in the second half, 2 turnovers that Tri-Cities is able to convert on. And actually almost 3 turnovers if you assume the kickoff
the recovery down here on the east end. Yep, absolutely.
Here's Garza. Big third down here. Takes the snap. Hands this one off over to Elliott once again. Has blockers and gets the edge. But he's not going to get much on that one.
Yeah, and he tried to stay in bounds. Really smart awareness by that young player to try to stay in bounds, but the feet kind of took him to the sideline, and it's going to stop the clock. Huge fourth down.
Helped Toledo out a lot right there.
Absolutely.
Brings up fourth down. Now, if Toledo were to get the stop as taking a timeout here, like it is going to be the Jaguars, we're just going to keep it here. But if Toledo manages to get a stop and come down, they're down 7. But this is not a team that kicks. So this could ultimately be decided by a potential 2-point conversion.
So Tri-Cities, we know they're not scared to throw the ball. Fourth down here. It would not shock me, that they put the ball in the air here on 4th and 6.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised at all. The only reason they wouldn't want to is because they want those ticks off the clock.
Yep.
And if you run it, you keep that clock ticking. But it wouldn't surprise me at all either.
Well, the clock would stop on change of possession anyway. So
yeah, but it starts sooner.
Yeah, true. But I would expect them to probably throw here.
Let's see what the play callers have dialed up for the Jaguars and if the Riverhawks can make the stand that they need. 2:54 remaining in this 2B championship setting. 4th down and 6. Out the empty is Jared Garza. Back to pass, fakes the handoff, fires this one up and over to Elliott, and that was going to be incomplete as he took a shot there on the throw. Incomplete, turnover on downs.
Acosta just slobber knocked him on that play. That was a hit of the game right there and forced the errant throw. And now here comes Toledo, a chance with 2:48 left to go down and score.
Yeah, and errant, I don't know is even the right word. I mean, the fact that he even got that thing off was impressive enough.
It was looking to be
Costa, boy.
He's a stud.
now what could be the final drive of the season for the Riverhawks. 2:48 remaining. Eli Weeks take this one, looks off to his right, and that's picked off! That one is picked off and running it back! Is anybody going to catch him? No, it's going to be a pick six!
And that will do it, Dom.
Carter Gaddish with the dagger in the heart of the Riverhawks. Pick six, the icing on the cake of the perfect second half for the Jaguars. And that could be the decision maker for a championship coming Tri-Cities Prep's way.
My goodness, Carter Gaddish gets in the passing lane. He picks that thing off and then off to the races. My goodness, what a play, and may be the final nail that is needed for a state championship for the Jaguars.
What a statement by the Jags. We're not afraid of number one, and if they try to come after us, we're going to take it back the other way.
47-34 extra point team out there, and who else to take it but Gaddish? He's going to put this one up. That is going to be blocked. But nonetheless, damage done. 47-34, 2:38 remaining in Toledo. They're going to need a miracle. Oh my goodness. What a great job by the Jaguars. Their defense, their third turnover of the game defensively, as well as one on special teams as well. And you couldn't have asked for a better half when they were trailing 20-7 earlier in this game.
Yesterday, no teams combined scored 47 points, and it's the Jaguars that got 47 themselves up on the scoreboard.
With two stellar defenses, it just blows my mind.
Yeah, I'm so shocked looking over all these stats pregame that this is what we're seeing, a slot machine scoreboard, just numbers spinning by.
We talked about it a little bit during our pregame show, and we've seen some of the most high-powered offenses in Washington football go head-to-head, just defensive battle games, and here offenses are showing out. So a different shade from what we saw yesterday, but man, what a way to start off day two. In the driver's seat is the Jaguars to kick this one away. Riverhawks back to receive. That's Adam Kruger. He breaks away and gets over to around the 44-yard line before he is brought down, and he trucks along, trying to make anything out of that situation and get some good yardage for the Riverhawks.
I don't know if you can use the term breaks away. We'll just say he ran over a defender.
He trucked Ferguson. He just absolutely ran over that man.
Unbelievable.
Taking over at the 44 here, Toledo, and they need to work quick. 2:29 remaining here in this one.
The Jags offering some cushion in the secondary now.
Weeks gives it over to Swafford. Has a lane ahead of him. He's going to pick up about 6 on the play before he's brought down.
I'm shocked that they're just still sticking with that run game. You thought maybe they might put it in the air a little bit. Time of critical masses now.
Both teams undefeated on the year, and now we can see why they're the 1 and the 3 seed. Putting on a performance here in this one now, rolling out to his right, trying to go for the deep shot to find Adam Kruger, and that ball sails over the head of both Kruger and the defenders. Out of bounds and incomplete.
And nowhere to put it, right? Double coverage, deep downfield. I get you're trying to make a statement and a big play, but defense just too good on the coverage there.
Well, they're going to bracket Kruger the rest of the game over and under, and just force Weeks to go to somebody else downfield. Everyone else just covered up.
Here's Weeks again. Twins on his right side. Fakes the handoff. Throws out again. Gets it back over to Swafford. He catches it in stride. Makes one man miss and high, and he's spun out of bounds. Good pickup there. Minute 44 remaining.
It's a great play call. They'll go one-on-one with your best running back against one of their corners out in space, see if Swafford can make him miss, but Hyatt makes the play, and even though the Riverhawks move the sticks, time will continue to tick once they snap this ball once again.
Going to try and work quickly here is Toledo. They flip the formation. Kruger in motion. They hand this one off to Swafford. He tries to get the edge, and that ball came out right back into Swafford's hands, but a tackle there for a loss.
Boy, that was a fortunate bounce there.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned earlier the Jags have been going for the ball. They've been trying to rip it out all game long, and they've separated the ball 5 times and gotten 3 of them.
And it feels like of more urgency in the second half for sure, and that's why they've been so successful.
This a little screenplay over to Kruger, trying to use his speed. He gets off to the far sideline. Pickup of a couple there.
Just could not get the blocks to set up. Aiden McCabe made the tackle along the sideline. And, again, with the time as it is, the screenplays are effective, but they don't have enough time. They need to take their shots toward the end zone now.
The minute 9 remaining.
You're down by 2 scores. You don't have time for short plays at this point.
Oh, that you got a 3rd and 12 coming up as well.
It's took in lateral time for Toledo. That's what they're going to call. I'm putting my reputation on it right now, Keith.
Here's Weeks from the gun. Flags fly there. Like it's going to be a timeout. They go over this play for Toledo.
Well, not a bad idea to see what Tri-Cities Prep comes out defensively. Now you can decide, are we going to stick with the play we called, or are we going to switch it up based upon what they showed us? Of course, Tri-Cities Prep, they're going to change up what they showed them. So the chess match continues.
That's exactly right.
Minute 8 remaining here in this one, and Toledo had the chance to come down and try and take this lead in their last possession, but threw a pick 6 to Carter Gaddish that was ran back for the touchdown, made it 47-34, and kind of put this game away. Toledo still out there desperately trying to scrape up some points and some nice yardage, but they're now down a considerable amount with very little time remaining. They come out to this 3rd and 12.
If I'm Tri-City, I think you play safety deeper than normal because you tackle inbounds, the clock will keep running.
They fake the handoff here. Weeks fires this one up. Deep shot over to Kruger. Did he catch that? Yes, he did.
That is as athletic as it gets in triple coverage. Go to the man who got you here. Adam Kruger goes up and comes down with the football, and Toledo's not done yet.
Oh, my goodness. What a catch from Adam Kruger down at the 2-yard line.
Clock's ticking, though, but it is a tremendous catch, absolutely.
They go for the QB sneak, and then falling down is Eli Weeks, and he tried to escape to the left side once the sneak was not there.
Yeah,
that was a good play call, except he just lost his footing.
Yeah,
there.
the turf monster got him, and he's clock will continue to run. We're under 30 seconds to go.
Going to run the same play here. 30 seconds and counting remaining. They're going to be stuffed at the line. It's like they're not going to get in.
Yeah,
21 seconds left.
And pick your Jaguar there. You had 6-7 guys up there up on the line of scrimmage making that tackle.
Watch this catch. As he goes up for it, it elevates and pulls it down, rips it away from a couple of defenders. That's as big a play as you can have all season long, but just too little too late for the Riverhawks.
High man wins, right?
He was very well covered, but, just able to muscle that one down.
Great job there from Adam Kruger. Now with 22 seconds remaining, if they can score here, we know they're going to go for the onside kick, and they almost got their last onside kick as well. Toledo, no stranger to recovering onside kicks, so anything can happen, but right now you got to think for the Jaguars, you've put yourself in a very good position.
So far, the Jaguars doing a great job keeping them out of the end zone.
Made that last defensive stand there on 2 QB sneaks. Now here's Eli Weeks from the gun. No timeouts remaining for Toledo. He's just going to keep this, try and pitch it over to Swafford, who does, and he's going to be brought down, and that in all likelihood might do it. 4th down, no timeouts remaining. Time ticking off the clock. 5 seconds remaining here in this one, and they're not going to get a play off. And Tri-Cities Prep will take home the 2B championship over the number 1 seed Toledo Riverhawks, first time since 2009 they've made it to the promised land, and they knock off the 1 seed. What a great game we had here, and Tri-Cities Prep and the Jaguars get it done with one of the most spectacular second halves you will see in the state championship setting. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up after this, the Alderson's Award West Printwear postgame show. We're going to break down this game right after this.